Verse 13, for ye have heard of my conversation in time past in the Jews' religion, that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God. Now we all know the story about Paul on the road to Damascus. That's where Jesus got a hold of him, so to speak, and made him blind and sent him to Aeneas, number one, to get him saved, and then to get his eyes opened. In the time he spent there, he was taught all the things that he's going to have to suffer for Christ and all the great things he was going to do. Preaching to the Gentiles. And Paul makes mention many times, he kept going back to Jerusalem because he wanted his physical brethren saved. And that's a wonderful thing. But God kept sending him elsewhere, but he would always return to Jerusalem, and it ultimately got him arrested. He was going to suffer a lot of things, as we all know. He suffered being stoned, whipped beyond measure, shipwrecked. I mean, Paul suffered a lot. And that's a pretty tough individual, get up from a stoning and walk away. Verse 14, and profited in the Jews' religion above many my equals in mine own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. So Paul, in the Jews' religion, he was one of the top dogs. He was, as he put it once, he was a Pharisee to the Pharisees. That's pretty high ranking. So Paul knew the law. I think that's why they went after him so hard. And especially in Paul's case, they will come after you with all guns blazing. So, and Paul never backed down. Always be bold when you're preaching. Say, look, this is the truth. This is what Jesus said. This is what he taught Paul. He taught Peter. He taught John. You're gonna stand there and call Christ a liar. Shameful. A lot of times it's ignorance because they've been taught wrong. Brother Jeff and I were talking about certain hang-ups that people have when you're trying to get them, when you're trying to show them the gospel, and they have an issue with eternal security or about it being about you having to do your part, so to speak. And I kind of likened it to one of the Star Wars movies where Yoda was teaching Luke Skywalker, you have to unlearn what you've learned. It's kind of like when you get somebody at the door who's never been to a church with any kind of consistency or at all. They're some of the easier ones to get saved if they're interested.